So I left Ontario, California this morning and started driving east and stopped in that at the same TA, what is it, Coachella, where I spent the first night in California. Had some brunch and kept driving east. Don't ask me what highway I'm on. I have no idea. My compass broke. I know South Carolina says somewhere east of me, so we're heading there. Have not heard yet from the engineer. We were supposed to touch base today. He said the preliminary date when I can pick up the new trailer is next Wednesday, and he said call me Wednesday today to confirm. I sent him an email, but I guess he was too busy and didn't hear back. So now I'm somewhere close to Arizona border. Gonna shut down here and start trucking tomorrow. So I only drove like 4.5 hours today. Like, what's the point of rushing, you know? Now, some people took my words too seriously when I said that the trailer had a catastrophic failure. These were not the words of the engineer. It was just basically, I was joking because I remembered the movie Gravity with Sandra Bullock, and that's where their space station had a catastrophic damages. Yeah, George Clooney's character was saying that the damages to the space station are catastrophic, which basically means it was totally destroyed, right? Nothing is destroyed in my trailer. Still the same deck, the same gooseneck, the same tires. Everything is good, you know. Just that I'm driving to get a new trailer. And I tried to fight a ticket yesterday. You know those guys that stand at every truck station, truck stop, like guys and gals, you know, that signing people up for this TVC plan. And I look at the booklet and it said free representation, like a big sign. And then they had some business cards, like, you know, little promotion cards in there. And on the card it already says first case is free, second is like $30, the third one is $50, something like that, but it's already not free. So I talked to the guy. I said, so how does it work? He says, trying to find a spot where there's no wind. All right. So the guy says, well, it's a monthly charge. It's like a club. You like become a member. And I forgot, it was either 35 or 40 bucks. And he says, there's no contract. You can cancel if you don't like it. And I said, then you fight for my ticket. And the guy says, yeah. Okay. So I filled up the application, gave him my credit card, he charged it, gave me my little membership card, and there's a phone number there that I'm supposed to call. And basically a bunch of lawyers would start working for free trying to fight my case. So I called that number, and the first thing the guy on the phone, actually the greeting, I did not like the greeting. It says TVC marketing. It's not like a legal firm, you know, it's just a customer center, basically a call center. It's a marketing center, basically, where, you know, where they call people. I did not like that. And the first thing the guy says to me, he says, well, because this incident happened before you became a member, you need to pay us $295. I said, wow, that's like a slightly different from free representation. Is there going to be any more fees? And he says, well, they can be if we win the case and the charges are dropped, there still can be court costs. So court, because it's a formal hearing where the lawyer is present, so of course the costs are higher. Sorry for the wind here. Compared to informal hearing where it's just me and the judge, right? And I said, how much is that? He said, well, it can be anywhere from $70 to $600. Well, I said, that doesn't sound too bad, but it doesn't sound too good either, you know? Maybe that's pretty much what I would pay by myself. Except, of course, the good news is that if they win the case, then there's no CSA points, you know, no points on my safety record. And that's very important. That's basically the main reason why I want to do this. And then we started talking logistics, you know, how to pay, how they're gonna work on the case. And then the guy says, actually, I gave you a wrong number. It's not $295, it's $395. And I'm not making this up. It's basically, we've been talking for 5 minutes, now it's $395. I said, why is that? Oh, it's because you said on your ticket it says within 10 days, like must appear before court to make a decision, and the ticket was issued March 11th. So he says you have less than 5 days and we charge $100 more when it's less than 5 days left. That's it. I said, you know what? I don't like this. I want to cancel my membership. And the guy says, well, I can talk to my boss, you know, see if he can reduce the fee. I said, sir, I want to cancel my membership, please. All right. So he transfers me to a department. Turns out it's a wrong department. Then finally they transfer me to cancellations. Nobody's there. I leave a voicemail. 3 hours later, finally the lady calls me back, apologizes that she couldn't answer the phone, and says that she canceled my membership and refunded my money back to my credit card. So I type up explanation. I decide to take care of it myself, and one of the options there with the ticket is admit guilt with explanation. So I type up a fancy letter, you know, straightforward, no emotions, just facts, saying that I don't agree with overweight charges because the guy used portable scales and I have no idea how well they are calibrated, how often they are maintained, and how well trained the officer is in using them. That's what I wrote, you know, because they are portable scales. They're like your bathroom scales. He was putting one under each wheel and he was scaling each axle. And they're not certified, you know, it's not like a CAT scale at a truck stop. So I said, I agree with the warning. Like the warning was on the ticket, one was infraction, this overweight thing, and then there was a warning for basically not following the rules in the permit, like whatever my oversized permit prescribed. And the permit for Michigan said all seven axles should have been down. And my gross was just under 90,000 pounds, which is Michigan, the only state. Every other state was okay with 5 axles. The permit said 5 axles on the ground. Michigan wanted 7. I had 6, right? And that's why the guy stopped me. And so I said, I'm okay with the warning. I don't agree with the overweight, so please, you know, take this in my explanation into consideration. Let me know how we proceed. Thanks for your time. And I attached the actual ticket, and I attached the front page of oversized permit, so 3 pages. And I was at this TA truck stop. Send the fax to I called the court before they gave me a fax number, so I faxed it to them instead of mailing. $6 TA charges, $2 per page. So I spent $6, and then I call the court and I say, I'm just calling to verify you received my fax, because I don't want to be, you know, left to basically, then I can be fined if they didn't receive anything, right? And the lady puts me on hold, checks, and says, "Yeah, we got it. How do you want to pay?" I said, "Well, what do you mean pay? I just sent you a letter of explanation. Don't you want to look at it? You know, maybe take some things into consideration." She says, "Unlikely. The fine is $831, and the due date is April 15th." So it's just, you know, they give you that option, admit with the explanation. It means nothing. So as soon as you say admit, basically, that's it. And of course, it could have been much worse. I'm actually glad. Of course, it's a huge fine, but I'm glad it's not, because I know sometimes guys pay like $2,000, $3,000. You know, it's a serious thing. So this was only, quote unquote, $831 US, so pretty much $1,000 Canadian. But another good news is that I'm off the hook. I have a whole month to pay this, and I can pay online. She gave me a website, like a government special website, where you can pay court fees with a credit card, and you use a special code, and then the ticket number, and then some other reference number. You just pay online, and that's it. And then they send you, I think, a letter saying that everything is good, and you're off the hook. So no idea how many points I'm gonna get, but of course I'm gonna get some points. So guys, follow the permit, you know. Don't question. If it says 7 axles and you have 20,000 pounds on your deck, put 7 axles down. Because even if they made a mistake, you know, on the permit, but if somebody stops you, they don't care. They look at what's written on the permit. So anyway, so I'm gonna shut down here. Get rest after the heavy work of driving for 4.5 hours, and we will continue tomorrow. Stay safe.